I'm going to tell you guys the fastest way to level up in this game, generally speaking. So the main purpose of this video is to help you understand how you can level more quickly in this game. And, you know, there really aren't that many options on what to do. This game is pretty much on rails, so to speak. So the main things are, do you enjoy listening to the story, or do you not enjoy listening to the story? Is that a good thing for you or not? If you could live without the story, then obviously you're going to hit ESC or whatever and skip every single cutscene the second it pops up for every single skippable cutscene. That alone will save you like 40 hours of just constant gabbing on about random story stuff, okay? There's so much dialogue, and if you skip it all, you'll instantly save yourself like 40 hours, okay? I've also been told you could probably hit max level, which is around, what, 50 or 60 on, I don't know what they made it for the, you know, Western launch, but you can hit max level in probably around 10 hours, which, yeah, I believe that. My character's level 30 after, like, about 4 hours of actually grinding, so it probably won't take, you'll take about 10 hours to get level 50 if you do the things I tell you in this video. So, you're gonna, if you can stand it, if you like to, if you're willing, you skip all cutscenes, every single cutscene, every single dialogue. Anytime that you lose control of your character, start spamming ESC or G or whatever, and see if it'll let you get out of it fast. You get to quest givers, you're just gonna spam G as fast as possible. So, for example, I go over here to get this quest. I'm just gonna go G as fast as I can, or whatever your default key. If you change the key, go through. No time for any of this crap. You're in a hurry. You're gonna mount up the second you can, as soon as any chance that you get to go faster from point A to point B. You're also going to get these triports, and whenever you go somewhere, be sure do not forget to grab the triport, because sometimes you'll have missions that'll have you say go all the way over here on the map, and then it'll have you go back to this old place, and you can just really quick fast travel back, save yourself like a whole minute of running. And by the end of your like grinding, that'll save you like easily an hour or two if you just keep up with that and just always fast travel whenever it's possible to make sense like that. Now, as for quests, this game's, like I said, pretty much on rails. Everything goes together perfectly, so always grab the side quests. You'll go somewhere, they'll always lead into each other, so they're always in the same area. Complete them all together. The turn-ins will always be in the same general area. So, see how I have this one in the Name of the King, and I have my main story? I'm going to go do those and skip ahead, and you'll see what I mean about how they'll all rendezvous. So that side quest that I had literally had me bring this object to this spot right here, which just so happens to be directly in front of the main quest guy. So most of these side quests are going to be like this, where you kill two birds with one stone. So always grab them, do them together. Don't do one and come back. Do them all and then come back, because they all work together like that. Also, if you are leveling, generally the best way to level is going to just be by yourself. If you have a group to play with, that's fine, but it might just slow you down, especially if the other people you're playing with are slower or taking their time on stuff. You're obviously going to get dragged down with it. The best thing is just play by yourself, quest to quest to quest as fast as you can. You know, you open your inventory and you just throw on any gear upgrades that you have. You'll see a little icon. I don't have any, well, right here, this little arrow. Just go ahead, throw it on, whatever, and just don't worry about any details. If your inventory gets full, really quick, just go into dismantle everything you don't need anymore, and then just move on. It's all about just going fast and not really caring about anything that's happening, which things don't really matter anyway until you're, you know, max level in a game like this anyway, so I wouldn't really stop and worry about anything. The biggest thing that's going to slow you down realistically if you're trying to speedrun is picking what skills to get. And that's going to depend on your class and stuff, and you'll lose a lot of time just like reading the skills and trying to understand and picking skills to go on. You'll lose some time there, and it might be worth losing that time just so you'll be more effective in combat, kill the enemies faster, and get through some of these quests faster. But for the most part, the quests are so unbelievably easy, at least all the way up to 30. I'm gonna finish the other half, so maybe it'll be a little bit more relevant. But they're generally so easy up till this point, at least, that it doesn't even matter. You just level up whichever one seems to do the most damage. One trick for leveling them is you can go through each one and you can mouse over it and just look for the blue number. So it's this one that says 2982. That's how much damage it does. Hit one time and see what it goes to. Now this one goes to 4,000. Okay, 4,500. So you can really quick decide like which ones are your main damage ones and how much damage do they get from the upgrades. That'll help you really quick. Just pick some combat skills real fast. That'll do a bunch of damage. Throw those skills on and then call it a day. And then as you're playing and leveling, you'll get a feel for which ones are good and which ones just suck. And then later on, you can make your decision just while you're in a cutscene or something. Open this up and try out another skill and just slowly, just don't, you know, if you want to go fast, you're not going to sit here and just waste a ton of time on that. Other tips that I have are just don't get sidetracked on random quests, especially the purple ones. The purple ones seem to often be things that are really irrelevant. They're not going to lead into other things, and they will teach you things about like gathering or different things. But if your main goal is just hit max level as quickly as possible, then they're really kind of just irrelevant. And also you have to be careful. There are certain traps I've run into. I'm sure I'll run into more of them, where you'll have a side quest that has you go somewhere. Like there was a side quest that wanted me to go into a dungeon, but it was not the main quest either. So it was the only quest that wanted me going into that dungeon. And it was trying to bait me into going into a dungeon that takes like 10-20 minutes, but was only to accomplish one quest that gives just, you know, a partial amount of a level, and that's it. So don't let yourself get baited in that. Like while you're doing this, also keep an eye out to make sure that the questing that you're doing is making sense. Now, most of it will be on rails. Most of it will just go together no matter what. But there will be certain ones that do not, and you have to keep an eye out for those. Also, like I talked about with the horse, you're gonna get back on the horse no matter how trivial the distance is generally. So like that guy, you know, I'm gonna go back on even though I only go about this far. You know, it's like there's obviously a certain distance where you're not gonna get on the horse because it's just too close. But if it's even more than like, you know, 50 feet, you're just immediately gonna get back on the horse because it will save you time. Don't be hesitant to just constantly get on the horse. Get used to the hotkey of calling and desummoning the horse just over and over again. Get used to that, because you're going to be doing that a lot while leveling if you want to level fast. Another smaller tip is don't forget to have your horse jump every 10 seconds. It actually is faster than normal horse movement. So it's not much, but it will add up in the long term if you can remember to make your horse jump every 10 seconds when you're running from one place to another. Just because, like I said, it makes you a little speed boost just slightly. So in the long run, it'll add up. And if you're doing it all the time, you know, it might save you 10, 20, 30 minutes by the end of your leveling, depending on how fast you go. So that's just another way you can speed up the process. Another tip that I have for you is do not be afraid to use these healing potions that it gives you while you're leveling up. I've been using them as often as I can, and I've only used like 30, and now I have like more than 200 of those things. So just pop them off cooldown. Don't worry about it. Like if you're ever missing HP, like if you're ever missing more than like 300-400 HP, just go ahead and pop one and don't even think twice about it, because dying is going to slow you down way more than running out of the potions. And here's a good example of what I talked about, how fast traveling back to the triport saves time, but do be careful to don't miss the extra side quests on the way, because they're usually meant to go together. So in this case, I would jump across here, get back on my horse, and then I would come and grab this quest, see what it is before I fast travel, because it might be on the way. It might, you know, circumvent the whole reason to fast travel. So in this case, it's going to be over here. So I'm going to clear that real fast and then see where it leads me. It's actually just speak to a farmer, so I'll just do it right now. So we speak to this guy and see what it wants me to do next, and is it worth the fast travel? So now, like I expected, it's going to have me go back to here. So this would be a time you can save yourself, like, you know, a good 30 seconds of running if you can remember to fast travel back in these kind of situations, and it will really add up by the end of your grind. If you're doing this all the time and being vigilant for these opportunities, easily save like an hour, maybe 2 hours or more, well, probably just an hour or two, on your 10-hour, 20-hour grind to get to the max level in this game. So that's a big one you need to be doing all the time. That was an example of how to do it effectively. Finally, as far as which class will get you to max level, that's honestly one that I'm not 100% sure on, because I'm not a master of this game. I did not play it on a VPN in Russia, Korea, or any of that. I can only say that the Sorcerer seems really, really good for massive AoE farming. The wave attack with the Sorcerer is absolutely busted for AoE farming. Now, there might be some other tricks with other classes, but seems to be working out just fine for me. I can just group up enemies, throw one wave, and literally all of them die no matter what, unless they're really, really spread, which is this ability. Just imagine everything that touches dies no matter what, and it goes that far. So I don't know. Other classes probably have their own stuff, though. So just know your abilities, know your best AoE farming ability, and then use it effectively. Grouping up mobs effectively so that you can just clear them fast. And also fighting tooth and nail with other players. If you're at a period in this game where other people are leveling too, then fighting tooth and nail to steal things, steal the enemy spawns, and be sure to be the first one to grab something when it respawns so that you can get your quest done first. That'll also matter if you're in the, pack of everyone else trying to level. When, I made this video right on launch, obviously, so, later on that won't be an issue because people won't be elbow to elbow on launch like they were on launch. Also, here's a good example. Fast traveling over to this saves me literally like a minute of running, so don't forget these opportunities. They really, really add up. And one last tip here, don't get caught up farming random mobs for no reason. Mobs give pretty much 0 XP. They're so bad for leveling without a quest. Quests are the only way to level. As soon as you are done with the mobs, immediately you're going to move on and you're not going to fight them anymore. 2 XP. Right now I need 260,000. I mean, that's just how this game is. Mobs are completely useless for leveling outside of just getting quest objectives done. That's about everything I can think to tell you to get you leveled faster. Those are like all the tips and tricks that really matter for getting leveling done fast. There might be some other advanced stuff that I'm not aware of, but those are the basics that you should be aware of. Now, if you're already like super good expert at leveling in this type of game, then none of those are going to really seem helpful to you. But I know that the vast majority of players don't realize how simple it really can be to just level up fast. It really just comes down to following all those principles and just executing them as fast as you can. That's how people get it done in like 10 hours versus 20. And also, it's all about skipping the dialogue and cutscenes as much as possible. Really, watching the dialogue and cutscenes and listening it and reading it all, that will definitely slow you down more than anything in this game. If you do that, you're going to turn this grind into a 40-hour grind or more, just because of the sheer volume of dialogue and cutscenes and text to read and stuff like that. So it's up to you how you want to level. If you really like the lore in this game, then you're gonna need to buckle up for like a 40-hour adventure. And if you are not interested and you want to skip them all, then if you do everything right and you skip everything and just go as fast as you can, you should be able to hit max level in somewhere between, I don't know, 8 and 15 hours doing everything I outlined in this video. So hopefully that helps you out. There's some good leveling tips and tricks, and hopefully that'll get you to max level faster in Lost Ark.